And welcome, everybody. This is Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Markey, and always joined by...
Charles is here.
Charles is here. That's what we say. We're recording. Okay. We're recording a little later.
Balls? That's what he always says.
That's what he always says. We're a little late today because we went to the frozen tundra of Southbend, Indiana this past Saturday. And just the two of us this week. But I do want to give a preview of next week. Next week, making her podcast debut, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this fat guy is married.
She's a lucky woman.
Yes, Michelle Markey will be making her debut. She will bring you all the information about the magical beasts and the Harry Potter world, along with some maybe talk a little mental health, because in this country we need a lot of it.
So the sequel of The Fantastic Beasts comes out here shortly. The Lords of Grindelwald or something like that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
It's not the Lords of Crimes of Grindelwald.
Something Grindelwald, I don't know.
All I know is Johnny Depp and Jude Law are gay for each other. That's all I really know. Yeah. But they hate each other. I don't know. I'll let you know. But it does have the chubby guy off of...
yeah, it's got Uncle Marvin.
off the Goldbergs, who he couldn't give up his toys this week because he wanted to go on a toy shopping spree. I remember those shopping. Did you see the episode of
Yeah, it was fantastic. It always is great.
It. So there you go. That's why we're running a little late.
Adam used the stamp collection.
Also next week, I'm going to give a little update on, since it will be the week right before Thanksgiving and the craziness, maybe some little tips on Black Friday on where you can get some good stuff.
Okay. Because you're a pretty prolific Black Friday guy.
I've already got one Black Friday item in my house already, so something to keep forward to. My daughter looks forward to it every year so she can get Timbits. And Timbits are essential.
Now, you don't camp out, but you're pretty strategic in what you do.
Yeah. I don't get up at 5:30 anymore,
Yeah.
but I'll get up at 7 and go spend the day with Holly.
Yeah.
And maybe Bert if he comes along. But I think
now, are we going to talk about what you want or just what you've seen that's a great deal for people and they should look at if they're in the market
I won't. I mean, my primary focus is always movies and video games.
Yeah.
But, there's some TVs out there and, some other items that I think that stick out. That are on sale. And then there are some games that won't be on sale at all this year. So if you think you're going to save money on Red Dead Redemption this year, forget it. Just go buy it now because it's not on sale. So there you go. So what we're starting off with is a surprise taste test this week.
Yeah.
Not sure what this is.
So I was at Target, in fact, today, and I had texted Steve, and I was like, hey, what is the taste test? And I found what is just disturbing. So
he thought we should eat it.
This is called Avocado frozen dessert. So basically, this is ice cream made out of avocados. I've got two flavors.
Two flavors. There's not one, but two flavors of avocado
chocolate,
ice cream.
And I've got Simply Lemon Avocado. Now they call it frozen dessert because they must not be able to call it ice cream or something like that. But this mug is made from avocados and is somehow churned into ice cream or frozen dessert. So which flavor does Steve want to give a shot to?
Let me go with chocolate.
Okay, and I'll take on the lemon here.
I'm not a huge lemon fan.
I got a spoon for you and everything. I knew if I told you ahead of time, you'd bail.
I was on the way over here. I was talking to Michelle beforehand. I think our taste test, I'm like 1 for 20.
Yeah.
I like the peppercini chips the one time. I hated the beer last week, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't a huge fan of the veal.
Yeah, Wiggs, he's a big fan of the stouts and the hardcore stuff. So
I don't know if anyone could see this. Can we see it on here? It looks okay.
The first ingredient on this is organic avocado puree.
What hipster store? Target had
Target had this. This is OG Target.
God, avocado everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard as a brick.
I tried to keep it frozen. I want the full experience here because you want frozen dessert. Mine's really lemony.
I mean, it's not bad. It just tastes.
Would you know it's avocado?
No,
I don't think I would either. I think that's the.
It tastes like a giant fudgesicle, and I told you on the way over Notre Dame, I'm not a huge fudgesicle fan.
Yeah, so I know BV's listening, so this is non-dairy, completely vegan stuff for you vegans out there. I know we have a ton of vegan listeners.
Yeah, and Holly says she wants some. She's already. She's already.
So we'll hold on. If you're looking at it though, what's weird to me, right? So this is made with avocado puree and stuff. It's terrible for you still. It's 170 calories
and 110 calories in fat.
Yeah, it's.
Let me see how sugar. Where's the sugar?
I don't know, man.
You gotta make sure Dave Markey can.
Yeah,
have
the
some.
carbohydrates are low. It's 18, so the sugar is better on it. To the point, it's not awful.
Holly wants me to bring it home. I got 2 messages. One more bite. I mean, I wouldn't go on my way to buy it, but it just tastes like poor man's chocolate ice cream.
Here, let me hit this lemon here. I'll swap you out here.
All right,
We'll do the switch around.
we gotta get a little.
The lemon is very lemony. But I don't think I would, if given this without being told it was Cado, I don't think I would know it was made from avocados.
Now, do they just have like regular avocado flavored?
I didn't see one. It was like mint chocolate chip, which I'm not a mint guy. I like
Whoa, I love lemon.
I told you, man.
Give me the chocolate back. Whoa. The lemon. Why do I need my glasses? Michelle told me I need my glasses.
So
Wow,
the chocolate one is 10 times better than that lemon one.
Ooh, that lemon one.
The chocolate one's actually kind of legit, actually.
Yeah, it tastes like a fudgesicle.
Yeah, that chocolate
It's not
one's
creamy
pretty good.
like ice cream, but it does taste like a fudgesicle.
I wonder if it's because I had it so blast furnace or blasting frozen or whatever. But yeah, the chocolate one's good. That lemon one's a little tart.
That lemon one, it feels like they just squeezed the whole lemon right in this thing.
Yeah, so
it's like eating Pine Sol.
I would give a thumbs up to the Cado frozen chocolate, though. I admittedly would. I don't know why you'd want to eat it though, because again, it's not very health conscious.
Just a side note, my wife saw me reading the label, and I left my glasses at home. She said I look like an old man. That's the same lady that looks through the bottom of her glasses.
Yeah.
You can keep this lemon one. Woo, that's a little rough.
So you can definitely take Holly home some of these.
Yeah, we'll bring you home a sample.
So that's avocado ice cream.
Maybe you'll like that texture, unlike the raviolis.
Yeah, he made a change in the raviolis today at the Markey house, and it was not a good thing.
So yeah, anytime we change anything food wise, and it doesn't approve, Holly gets the world. I don't know how many people know about the world famous Holly Boo face.
It's universal.
Yeah,
it's universal.
It's any face a kid makes when they don't want to eat something, and they just play with it and
not into it.
Yeah, there you go. So there's our taste test: avocado ice cream. Now they don't have just what other flavors?
I saw so at Target they had the mint chocolate chip one or mint chip, and they had the lemon and the dark chocolate one. I'm not a mint chocolate chip person. I bailed on that. I wasn't taking that one.
I almost wish they had straight avocado flavor.
They might have. I didn't. I went for flavors that I recognized. And,
we're gonna go all in. Let's go in with something.
I got to give a thumbs up to the dark chocolate Cado dessert treat.
Well, like pistachio ice cream's not bad.
Pistachio ice cream's really tasty.
Yeah,
actually.
so you never know. Maybe an avocado ice cream.
I like a good pistachio, but I was scared. Admittedly, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna taste like avocado. I don't think it really does.
You know who might like it? Wiggs loves him some avocado. So our regular
the contributor to the podcast,
our Stu Gotts, he loves avocado. So we're gonna review some movies this week. We did get to see some before heading down south. The first one we saw.
Is it really down south? I don't know.
Indiana South.
It
didn't feel like it was 25 degrees.
Mean,
so the first one I saw this week is a Spike Lee joint. I don't understand why he calls this movie joints, but okay, whatever.
It looked great.
The movie itself.
So hold on, what's the movie?
The Black Klansman is what it's called. Has the guy from Ballers, who's Denzel Washington's son. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. Has Topher Grace.
Plays David Duke, if I'm not mistaken.
He plays the younger David Duke.
Because this is based loosely on a true story,
that's the first thing when you watch the movie. The first thing comes up. This is based on true events.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a true story. And also Adam Driver,
Kylo Ren,
Star Wars fame. Yeah, he's in it. The concept is that
he's into quirky movies.
Yeah, he does.
He does some off the beaten path stuff.
I think a lot of them do that now. They have their moneymaker franchise movie, then they
do whatever's fun. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So the concept is the guy from Ballers, the black man, becomes
the black.
Well, it's all based on race, so I gotta because it'll get confusing if I don't tell you who's black or white. So he gets hired as a police detective in the '70s in Colorado. One of the first. Of course, half the force is racist against him, and a lot of race relation stuff based in it. And they make him an undercover detective because the Black Panthers are in town riling up people, and they want him to go undercover into that, so they make him an undercover detective. He goes.
What city is this taking place in?
Colorado Springs, I think they said.
Okay, not a hotbed for racial tension, but
but this was the 70s. It wasn't now, so it was in the college area. It was a big college. I never said what the college was, and he goes undercover there, and then he comes back. And at his desk, while he's sitting at his desk at the police station, he randomly just cold calls the local KKK. He literally does it, and they answer
like
the phone.
A local chapter?
Yeah, a local chapter.
Oh, wow.
And these dumb hillbillies just answer the phone, and he puts on his white accent, hey, how you doing? I hate black people too. And the N-word is used about 1 billion times in this movie. So, so if you don't like hearing that word, don't watch this movie. Everybody says it. And so he confuses them to make them think he's white, but he screws up and uses his real name.
Okay.
I'm Rod Stewart. Or something. I forget what his name was. Rod Sterling. So when they the Klan want to meet him in person, they send Adam Driver, his partner.
He's playing the pseudo.
Yeah, he's the
guy you heard
guy
on the phone.
But in the movie, he's actually Jewish. So they hate Jews. The Klan hates Jews.
They're equal opportunity hatred.
Yeah. So David Duke's in Louisiana. So they rise up the ranks of this local Klan really quick. And to be honest,
you mean by Adam Driver or
they're a team. So the black guy takes the phone calls at the station, and then they send Adam Driver out. He's the face. Yes. So they raise up the ranks pretty quick, and most of the stuff the Klan's doing is pretty mundane, just burning a cross or driving around shooting.
Basic racist hate.
But they're not like killing anybody or doing anything violent yet.
Okay.
And of course, there's one extremist dude that's in the Klan that wants to do everything violent, and in the meantime, the black detective is calling New Orleans also and talking to David Duke all the time, which is kind of funny. And basically, it all boils down to 3 of the Klan members want to do something violent, and Adam Driver and the black detective thwart their stuff. And it's a good movie.
It sounds like it's the best Spike Lee movie in a long time.
Yes. Now, well, here's the only knock I have on it. So in most of those movies where you watch a new movie based on true events, even like Gridiron Gangs with The Rock, at the end they show the real people.
Yeah, you always want to know.
Yeah, and then or what they're doing now or today. They don't do that.
Oh, that's a buzzkill.
Yeah, that's kind of kill.
Yeah.
But then here's what they do.
That's what makes the Goldberg so good. It's like you see at the end. Yeah.
They don't do, because I was waiting to see who Adam Driver was, and it never happens. They flash forward to Charleston, North Carolina, and do a whole 10 minutes on that, which had nothing to do. I mean, race-wise, it had to do with the movie, but it kind of took you all out.
Spike Lee got a little preachy at the end.
Yeah. So he's showing interviews and the car that ran the girl over, and then they show Trump not denouncing him, and that's how the movie ends. So it was kind of a weird
tonal.
I know
thing,
he was trying to make a political statement there or whatever, but let me see what happened to the guys in the real. I mean, make that an extra on the Blu-ray or something, but. That was his choice. It was his movie.
It looked really good. I'm glad to see you liked it. You know what I mean?
Except for the last 5 minutes.
Withstanding.
Yeah. Other than that, and Topher Grace was good and stuff. And the funny one was, I could really tell if I'm talking to a black man, and I know you're not a black man. And, meanwhile, he's a black guy with a giant afro and a big beard. So it was pretty good. Now, the other movie I saw last week that did not live up to the hype, and you and Dad tore me up pretty good, is Christopher Robin. I don't know. Curiosity got the best of me. I liked how they looked like creepy little puppets running around, so I wanted to see the movie. The movies,
it's a Disney joint, right? It's a Disney.
It's a Disney joint, folks.
Yeah, we're gonna hold on to Spike Lee's for the rest. But it's a Disney movie, right?
Yes. It's a Disney movie, and the concept's just like Hook. Christopher Robin grows up, gets old, and loses touch with his child, and they never explain how Winnie the Pooh exists, or they're just in this.
Well, and I asked you this before, and just so everyone you couldn't even tell me if they're like stuffed animals or what. You know what I mean?
Well, like the 5. What is there? 6 of them. 4 of them look like stuffed animals. Eeyore, Pooh, Piglet, and the kangaroo. They look like stuffed animals. And Tigger, so that's 5. And then the other 2 is a rabbit and an owl, and they look just like real. So I don't know.
Yeah, like what the angle they were going for.
So
or whatever.
2 looked real, and the other 5 look like stuffed animals. And it's the usual. He's a super busy dad and loses touch with his childhood, and business and work is more than ever important. It's the same.
So
things.
is it are the stuffed things like Pooh and Eeyore like in London? They're not even like out in the farm or whatever.
No, they're most of the movie they're in the 100-acre woods.
Yeah.
But then Pooh randomly opens a door that takes him to London.
So Pooh's out and about.
Yeah. So then Ewan McGregor finds him and says, "Oh my God, I got to take you back." And then, he takes him back. And then, of course, he finds his childhood while he's out there. And he's working for a luggage company. And he figures out a way.
You watched this with Holly.
Yes. She didn't like it.
Holly didn't like it either?
No, there's three of us. Me, Holly, and Michelle. And all of us were like, this is boring. Another weird choice. It was a weird color palette. Like, everything was muted. Like,
Well, I think they were trying for a realistic look.
Yeah.
They wanted everything
weird.
to blend in.
And then the pacing of the movie. Like, in the beginning, there's Winnie the Pooh and the kid and everything. And then, like I told you, it's like 20 minutes of a montage of him growing up and becoming old and no Pooh or anything. Just kind of boring. Eeyore had some funny cracks. Like at one point, Ewan McGregor picks him up and he goes, "Thank you for kidnapping me."
Okay.
So the characters were kind of funny, but that was the only highlight. The rest was just kind of blah.
So at this point, do you just want a full CG Winnie the Pooh movie?
That would have been probably better. Just stick with the characters, forget the real human actors, and it probably would have been better. Because the characters looked neat, and Pooh was eating honey and he had goo all over him and stuff, and they had funny little one-liners. But, the movie was a little depressing. They made it look like 1930s, like a lot of movies for some reason, like Sherlock Holmes did it too. Any movie based in 1930s London always has that like gray tone and that grimy tone.
It's everything looks wet.
Yeah, everything looks dirty and wet. And looks like you'll get a disease just walking down the street. Like Penny Dreadful. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It looks the same way too. So there you go. Now,
Christopher Robin's a big no.
Big no. I mean, unless you're just a diehard Winnie the Pooh, which I don't know anybody is.
I'm OG Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I don't see any
I have
reason.
to see everything Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. And now this next one, I don't know how most people feel about anime.
Most people hate it.
Yeah, there are some diehards out there.
Because it looks beautiful and the stories never make sense.
Yes, exactly. That's usually my take on almost all anime. And I know you just seen the good ones. No buttholes. I've watched all of it. I've watched Attack on Titan, Cowboy Bebop. I've watched all of it.
Fist of the North Star is my favorite.
Fist of the North Star, it was okay.
But that's an older one now.
Ghost in a Shell, I've watched.
I like the new movie.
Akira,
I thought it was good.
I watched. Oh, they're all so rough. And then that Godzilla anime on Netflix is awful as hell. But I will say this. Now, Netflix has a new one. This is called Castlevania, based on the video game.
Is it a Konami thing?
Yeah,
like, is it full license?
Yeah.
Was it Lancelot or whatever?
Yeah. The Simon Belmont. He's a Belmont, but he's not Simon Belmont. He's a different one.
Okay.
The first season was only 4 episodes.
Okay.
And I didn't think they were going to make any more. So the first season, Dracula has a wife, and he has a child. And his wife's human, and so his child's kind of like a
hybrid, like a mudblood thing.
Yeah, he's like a Blade.
Yeah.
He's basically Blade. And what happens is the Catholic Church, wherever they're at, they never really say what. I'm guessing they're somewhere in Eastern Europe. They don't ever really say what country they're in. The priest in the Catholic Church kill his wife.
Okay.
So he wages war on the
So
humans.
it's a gritty adult anime is what it sounds like. Okay.
That's the first season. That's pretty much the whole first season. In the meanwhile, the Belmont guy's there, but he's kind of like a drunk and a loser. Okay. And the Belmont family's name has been tarnished and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So the second season picks up where Dracula's raising his armies to wipe out the humans because he's pissed off they killed his wife. And Belmont, and he hooks up with Dracula's son. For some reason, they never really explained. I might have missed it. Dracula's son hates his dad and wants to murder his dad because he's half human, so he doesn't want his dad to murder all humans. So he wants to stop his dad. So Belmont and Dracula's son unite with this little wizard girl, and they're out to stop.
So this is what you've already seen, or is this the season?
This is how the second season picks up.
Okay,
second season's longer. It's about 8 episodes. It's not.
So it sounds like people enjoyed the first one. They gave it a little more run on the second season.
Yeah. So and then most of the season is there's like Dracula has vampire generals and human generals too, and there's turmoil between them and all this. But It looks great. It does. The animation,
the visuals on it. Is it 4K or is it just?
I don't ever check that.
I
mean, it looks good in 1080p when I turn
I
on
know,
my TV.
but I'm just saying.
I don't ever check the 4K part, but
I'm a snob.
But a lot of blood.
Okay.
And it's an anime that actually makes sense, so you can tell it's written by American writers.
Oh, okay.
So the story makes sense.
Is everyone's nose really pointy?
Yeah, it's got that anime look to
Yeah.
it. The only thing, the main character, the Belmont, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and how they draw it is just straight lines on his face.
Yeah, very.
It looks kind of weird.
Yeah. It's an aesthetic
They could
choice,
have
I
just
guess.
shaved him and then let it go. But it is good. I don't like anime, but I like that. And if they make a season 3, I don't know if they're going to. They kind of left it up. At the end, there's an evil vampire.
It doesn't.
left.
So what you're telling me is it doesn't fall into the usual anime trappings.
Yes,
Like you can follow the story.
It makes sense.
There's no tentacle porn that comes in and
exactly.
gets all kooky.
So you see the first season, Dracula's pissed because his wife died. Second
You can
season,
follow,
they're stopping
yeah.
Dracula before he wipes out all the humans.
Because
it makes total sense.
In one of my favorite video game series is the Metal Gear series, but like that story is so convoluted. Like you're like. You're hard pressed to explain like what's going on. Like, hold on, that's him and his brother. And you're just like, it's so kooky, So that's cool that it's got like a grounded type of story. I'm kind of interested now that you said that.
I mean, it's not. They're only half-hour episodes, so it's not. It doesn't take forever, and it goes past. And like I said, it looks beautiful, and the story actually makes sense for once.
I might have to check that out. Yeah.
The only stretch.
Do you got to have the love for the video game, or not really?
Not really. You just got to know what Dracula is, and then Simon Belmont is part of the family that tries to stop Dracula.
Okay.
That's all you really need to know going in. The only thing, Dracula has a castle that can warp to different cities. They don't ever
A time traveling castle.
They don't ever quite.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that one. Somehow that one has a Star Trek warping system. But
I'm sure they got to use that to explain their story on some level.
yeah. Now the next one, you've actually watched. I've been dying to see it. Now I hear the highlight is Chris Pine's peen.
Yeah, he goes full frontal in this.
Yeah,
so
Outlaw King.
Yeah, the Outlaw King on Netflix. Now, you and I, we discussed it while we were gone this past weekend. I kind of thought it was a series. I know you said the same thing. It turns out it's a 2-hour-long movie about Robert the Bruce, who, if you're a fan of Braveheart,
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes, a fantastic movie. So this movie stars Chris Pine as Robert the Bruce. It takes place on the latter third of the Braveheart movie. So like this movie is happening succinctly kind of with the end of it. If you like Braveheart, you're going to love this movie. So at one point they show, and I don't want to spoil Braveheart for anyone, but I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you've seen Braveheart.
It's only over 20 years ago.
Yeah, so they draw and quarter him, and at one point you see William Wallace's head on a pike. You see the actual, a quarter of him makes into one section where Robert the Bruce is and all this kind of stuff. It is great, man. It is a pure. I don't know how Netflix is doing this because in we've talked in the past, the budget for this movie's got to be out of control, man. Like I don't know how many subscribers got to watch this to justify this, man, because it's got the armies that Steve always wants. It's got great battle sequences. Nothing looks obscure. I mean, it is a great look. It could have been released in theaters if you ask me. I don't know how Netflix pulled that one off. It's great. And so if you want that continuation of that William Wallace Braveheart story, you have to watch this because it just continues on, and it basically shows you how he picked up the pieces of the Scottish rebellion after William Wallace met his maker, and then what he was kind of doing behind the scenes, and then the fighting for the Scottish crown, and then how they were working with the English, but then they fought against the English. It's great. And Chris Pine's got an accent. It's not super distracting because I know a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to know Chris Pine, doing his best broke accent or whatever. But it's a great movie. And if you have Netflix, it's a must watch. It's about 2 hours, and it's great.
And how is the Little Pine?
Oh, well, I mean, it looked glorious, but I was a little...
Was it in 4K?
Yeah, it looked my usual. It was very high pixel density. It was great. But, I was a little shocked he did that because it's a mainstream actor, you know what I mean? Like, it's... Yeah, man. I was like, that's a whole lot of Chris Pine, man. I was like, that's pretty neat, but... he did it, and more power to him, and it's a great movie. He's got a love interest in it. And like he gets, married to some English royalty, and then that comes into play and stuff, and then they have to go into hiding, but she sticks by him and stuff. It's a great movie, man. It's 2 hours of your time that you need to put in if you got some Netflix. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good. Now, what I hear about Netflix does is these studios make these movies, and for whatever reason decide maybe they don't want to release it in theater, or they put them up to auction, and that's when Netflix buys it.
That's impressive.
So that might have, because like that last Cloverfield movie that was on Netflix, which was a pile of dung. That one with the space
Don't
station.
associate these two movies.
Yeah, but they bought that, and what they did. So
That's crazy. I don't know.
I know Bright, the one with Will Smith.
Yeah,
that one they paid for and had produced.
They were Netflix from jump of production and all this. So maybe this movie here was, like you said, maybe it was. We could do a full release. We could sell it to someone or something. Because, man, I'm telling you, production value on this is top notch, man. It's really good.
So there you go. Outlaw Kings, Netflix, Chris Pine, and you see Little Mr. Pine. So
yeah, dude, check on it, man. Make sure you pause it and rewind it through that sequence.
Now, through the 90s, and the next one here, weightlifting was pretty huge.
Bodybuilding. Correct.
Sorry, bodybuilding. So
I'm a huge fan of Arnold, as we've been documented, and anyone who knows me knows that I am pumping
he
iron.
hates gerrymandering, just so you know.
Yeah, he's very anti-gerrymandering, and he got it through, which is good for him. And Pumping Iron is one of my favorite movies. I'm a weirdo that's in like my top 10 of like favorite movies I've ever seen. And a lot of people go like, "What are you talking about?" It's a great bodybuilding movie about 1975 Mr. Olympia. That's a whole other conversation. But this is Ronnie Coleman. It's called Ronnie Coleman the King. And it's a documentary on Netflix. What a lot of people don't realize is Arnold won Mr. Olympia, I believe, 5 times. One was when he came back. Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney both won it 8 times. And so this documents Ronnie Coleman in the late 90s into the early 2000s to mid-2000s. He was dominant in the bodybuilding scene. I mean, no one could dethrone him. And bodybuilding is one of those sports that once you kind of get over the edge and you win that, you just steamroll, man. There's nothing you can do. As long as you're coming in on top, you continue on. This guy knocks out 8 of these, but he was different than your average bodybuilder. He was a madman. Like, and this documentary does a great job of showing it. He didn't get his muscles by like concentrating on like, I'm going to work my triceps today. This guy squatted and deadlift and did everything crazy to build pure muscle mass. I'm sure there was some chemical enhancement, as a lot of it is. But what this documentary shows is his body paid the price. I mean, this guy's got crutches now. He's got a debilitating back surgery that a lot of the documentary is kind of leading you up to and stuff. And you just see this guy squatted 800 pounds twice. I mean, dude, it's crazy stuff, man. It's a fascinating documentary. It's about an hour and a half long. Again, another Netflix deal. But check it out if you have any interest. If you're a bit of an Arnold fan like I am, you always have a soft spot for bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. So it's always interesting to see. And he won the Arnold Classic a bunch of times too. Stuff like that.
I remember he was on a lot of the covers of those fitness.
Oh, yeah.
In the 90s, those fitness magazines were everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember all those magazines?
Yeah, Dorian Yates and Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I'm a big... bodybuilders are kind of like a monk to me on some level, and that's where like a Kai Green... I can go on and on about bodybuilding for some... I'm a tubby guy who is fascinated with bodybuilding. I don't know.
I don't want to lift the weight.
Dude, I enjoy working out, but not to this degree. I can't eat, chicken breast, 5 squares a day or whatever. But there's some other documentaries. Again, there's a great Kai Green documentary on Netflix as well. If you're interested at all in bodybuilding, Netflix has got some good stuff for you.
There you go. I'm pretty sure there's a high demand for bodybuilding on Netflix.
I'm telling you, man, these are going to be getting tons of stuff, man.
So watch The Black Klansman, but don't understand the ending. Christopher Robin, stay away from. Castlevania, if you like anime with an actual cohesive story for once.
Yeah, I'm interested on that.
Outlaw King, if you liked Braveheart, and I love Braveheart, so probably going to watch Outlaw King tomorrow. And Ronnie Coleman the King, if you want to know what it's like to be a cripple after weightlifting your whole life.
Dude, it's so good.
So next we're going to talk a little college football. We didn't get to see much because we had a road trip, and we went down to Southbend, Indiana.
To watch a drubbing of the Seminoles in South Bend.
The one thing I will say, the only thing Florida State did right was they had a lot of fans there.
Yeah, they traveled well. And we talked about that.
We've been going down there for years. Probably the biggest crowd we saw was from Utah. They had then Florida State's probably number 2.
But that Utah was a little older. That was probably still riding the Urban Meyer wave at that point. I don't know if Utah is still traveling as well, but that Florida State, and it was cold, man.
Yeah, it was 25 degrees.
You got to think people from Tallahassee. Isn't Tallahassee where Florida State is? It sounds right. But we're going to go with that. I'm sure Brian's going, no, idiot. But coming from Tallahassee to there is crazy because it was 25 degrees, man, and we were cold. And we're from Michigan.
Yeah, it was. It's funny how much that cold gets you after you sit in it for so long.
Just sitting there freezing.
It's like in your bones. It's like you're second guessing why you're even at the game. It's like, why am I doing this to myself?
And it was senior night, last true home game. I know they're considering the Syracuse game coming up, the Shamrock Series, a home game for Notre Dame. But this is the last time these seniors were going to be in South Bend and playing in front of that crowd. You have a bit of conspiracy theory. You don't think Ian Book was as hurt?
Yeah, I think he probably could have played this game, but they were like, well, it's Wimbush's last day, senior year, and
Florida State's not Florida State of old.
Yeah, so let's go with Wimbush. I fully believe that. I think if Florida State was ranked like in the top 10, Ian Book plays.
Yeah, you're probably best on. I don't remember there being like a dire injury from the week before, so
he might be a little banged up. Who isn't in this point of the season?
This depth,
but it's. But as far as the game goes, it was a turd.
Yeah, dominant.
42-13. I mean, it's nice if you're a Notre Dame fan, even though Wimbush did throw 2 picks and was like, hey, let me try to let him back in the game. But it wasn't the greatest of games. But they did win 42-13. The only other kind of close, there was really no big upset.
Well, there was kind of a decent upset. I don't want to derail you, though.
No, go ahead.
Northwestern beating Iowa. Iowa coming in ranked, but Northwestern being bigger in the Big Ten. Both being mediocre Big Ten West teams. That's a whole other conversation that we'll have later. But
if Michigan ends up against Northwestern, it's going to be a really interesting game, though. I mean, you realize Michigan only beat them 20-17 the first time they played.
I'm not arguing that, but in the national, so they're pushing for these championship games to have weighted stuff in the national title game. So they're saying if you win your conference championship, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
My whole thing is the quality of your opponent. An unranked Northwestern team? Like, what is that? Congratulations, you beat up on Northwestern again. I don't know. Like, that's my whole thing. That's why my Alabama theory still holds true. Because, like, if Alabama loses a squeaker to Georgia, why all of a sudden is Michigan beating up on a crappy Northwestern team a bigger deal? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I really do think that Georgia and Bama should go if Bama loses in a squeaker, is my theory. But, people will argue me up and down if you were to look at the complete body of work and all this kind of stuff. And
Michigan can't lose. They got to win out, period. Notre Dame and Michigan.
But can Alabama lose? That's the question.
They're the only team that could lose and still
so then who gets hosed? So what you're saying is Alabama has the ability to
by default,
lose.
If Notre Dame and Michigan both went out, and Alabama loses one, the only one's going to get screwed is going to be Michigan.
That's what I think is going to happen. But Michigan fan and Big Ten fan is going, no, that's BS. Look at Bama's playing Citadel this week.
Oh, well, yeah, that's ridiculous.
And it's just like they go into Baton Rouge and destroy the Tigers.
They beat 2 teams. They shut out 2 teams in a row last 2 weeks.
But somehow Big Ten fan doesn't want to hear that. Yeah, right. Somehow Big Ten fan wants to boost up this mediocre Big Ten all the time. And it's driving me nuts. And this is half my argument all the time. I am not a fan of the Big Ten. I never have been. I'm a Notre Dame fan. And then to be honest, SEC and Big 12 teams and Pac-12 teams are better. They don't want to hear it. And like I said, you can come at me all you want. I got the Big Ten West is mediocre with 1.5 good teams on most years, with no good teams this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Northwestern puts up fights.
Great.
That's about all.
But you don't win games. You put up a fight. You look like a gallant effort.
Speaking back of the Big Ten, Ohio State beat Michigan State. Or did Michigan State beat themselves?
I don't know what
we
that
watched
was.
some of that game. I don't know. Michigan State's offense is beyond bizarre. I don't know what they're doing.
They brought in the Lombardi kid.
Yeah,
we saw that at the hotel.
He gave him a little spark for a field goal, but then they did that safety with the punt, and then they were fumbling on the option or the jet sweep in their own end zone. Michigan State really needs to overlook their offense.
Yeah,
I don't know
and that's
going
what
on
everyone's screaming, that they need to fire that offensive coordinator out of Lansing. So I don't know. Now, one other thing too, is I was listening to a lot of sports talk, and we didn't see a lot of the game because we were on the road headed to South Bend. I guess Tua's knee is legit scary. Like
They're talking about on the radio. They got some kind. He's got some kind of blood buildup.
I don't know.
They were Tiki Barbers talking on ESPN radio.
Oh man,
AM 1270. But it's some kind of blood thing where the blood pools up by your knee. But they got a bag, some kind of specialized bag that they put on that.
It's going to restrict that movement.
Restrict it and move the blood back up to your heart.
Is he going to play with the Citadel?
I don't know. A reporter tried to ask Nick Saban, and he bit the dude's
He put
head
that
off.
20-ouncer on the podium and tore that guy's ass out.
Yeah. Nick Saban hates the world. But I guess when you win that much, you're allowed to be that big of a prick.
Good luck, telling him otherwise. But that's the one question. So because now Bama has the Citadel, okay, but then they've got the Iron Bowl, which typically is a great game.
Yeah, but Auburn ain't that hot. They just lost.
But it's one of those things that we've talked about before on this podcast. Rivalry games, a lot of that record stuff, you can kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets a little crazy.
I'm not a huge Bama fan. They lose, I won't be crying, but
I think they're the best team in the country. You got to admit that. I mean,
it would be great for them to lose just one right at the end and just get bounced out.
I just
That'd
don't
be
want Michigan
hilarious.
to go. I want Michigan to remain.
Oh, I do. I want them to go, and I want them to play Alabama, and I want everyone to bet Bill. I want Gabe to bet Bill, and then they're going to get curb stomped. You remember that opening season game about 4 years ago, Bama and Michigan down in Texas?
It was in Jerry's world, right?
Yeah, it was like 42-7. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah,
feel free.
That was early Harbaugh, I want to say, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because I know Notre Dame, if they get Clemson, can hang with Clemson. They did it a couple years ago with the Kaiser. It went down to the wire with Clemson. I'm not saying they're going to beat Clemson, but at least I know I'll get a competitive game to watch. Yeah. Alabama, Michigan, it's going to be over. Michigan's defense will hold Alabama for about 2 quarters.
And then there's so much talent.
Yeah, and then eventually it'll be 21-0 and it'll end. But we're just haters. I know that.
I admit it. I am a hater of the Big Ten. I don't care. I don't like the Big Ten.
So now we're going to go a little rapid fire. Now, there's actually some good ones this week. Sometimes it's hard to find music and stuff. Because not everything releases, especially in the month of October. You weren't getting a lot of good releases.
Yeah, I'm figuring this is kind of build up to the holidays. You want to get it out there.
So the first one in our movie section, this one's called The Front Runner. It's that Hugh Jackman one where it's his political one. I don't know exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no because it looks like a giant turd sandwich.
I'm going to say maybe if it gets a lot of award buzz and stuff like that, it could be okay. I don't know. I like Hugh Jackman, but he's a little too showy at times. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Calm down. We get it. You like to sing. Yeah. Take it easy, buddy.
The next one, the king of bad movies, Mark Wahlberg is back. An Instant Family, where he adopts, I think, 3 kids. Yeah. No.
I'm a no, too, man. I like your Mark Wahlberg. I'm trying, buddy. But
I know. Lately, I mean, his last 6 or 7 movies.
He's got bills to pay.
Yeah. He's a busy man. Have you ever heard his, he gets up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.?
Oh, they close. They play speed golf before courses even. It's crazy.
Yeah, he has a whole weird routine he does. He's smashing it.
Too bad he's not getting up.
He got his 2 a.m. live.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
Now, the next one is Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say yes because I probably going to end up going with my wife and my niece to see this.
I'm going to say yes for a weird version. I like those movies in 3D. Look amazing.
Now, on Blu-ray this week, which may be on sale on Black Friday as well, The Meg. I don't know if we covered that last week, did we?
I don't think so.
That's the giant shark movie, prehistoric.
We might have.
I'll watch it because it looks kind of funny.
I'm a no
Jason's
on that one. Rainn
it.
Wilson's in it. I like Dwight Schrute.
There's a lot of people in it. Made a lot of money at the theaters.
Yeah, you said that before. I'm shocked by that,
The month of August, they made over $100 million as I dropped my notes.
Oh, man. Hold on to those gems.
The next one, this one was made by Sony. I saw the trailer for this 3 years ago. Then they postponed it. It's Alpha. It's the story of the first wolf that becomes domesticated for a human. Called Alpha. I don't know if you've ever seen the trailer.
I'm a what? I don't know.
I'm a no. It doesn't look all that hot.
What? Yeah.
It's basically they're a step above cavemen. So I don't know what they are. Hunters.
So this is about a dog?
It's about a wolf. The kid falls off a cliff or something. He's probably 19, 18 years old.
Just put me in the what, man? I don't need to know. I'm not gonna.
I don't know. Sony made it. I know that. Now I don't know if you've watched this show on AMC. I've watched it. It's a weird show. But Preacher season 3 coming to Blu-ray. I've already seen it, so I'm a no.
It's extremely popular, but I'm a no because I just don't watch the show. I think it's comic book based.
Yes.
And
But it's that weird, independent, quirky comic book.
It's a Dark Horse or something like that.
It's one of those shows. It just tries. Well, the comic was the same way, where it just tries to one up your craziness every episode,
How can we smash a head in or something like that every time?
It's pretty crazy. All right, now new music this week, and this one I know Charles is a big yes on. Walls by Barbra Streisand.
Dude, I'm a huge Babs fan.
No.
I'm a no. Yeah. Who knew she was making new music though? That's the real question.
Now, I'm curious if you're gonna recognize this name. Winter in the Air is the name of the album by David Archuleta.
David Archuleta from American Idol way back in the day?
Yes, it's
wow.
him. He's got a Christmas album coming out.
I'm a no, but I did know the
exactly.
name. I did know David Archuleta. Was he a winner or like a close runner-up? I don't
remember what it was. He was that little guy. It's all
I don't think we're going to lose a lot of sleep over that.
No, not really. Now, this is a country album. I know that this is Blake Shelton's ex-wife. Interstate Gospel by the Pistol Annies.
What's Blake Shelton's ex-wife's name?
Miranda Lambert.
Yeah, I've heard of her. So this is a group where she's
in a group of 2 other girls. They're 2 popular female. The 3 of them are usually solo singers, but every once in a while they get together.
They get together and rock it out as a bunch of tough chicks.
It's usually a lot of women empowerment kind of songs.
Like a Dixie Chicks runner kind of
I wouldn't buy it, but I'd probably stream it and see if it's any good, but I definitely wouldn't buy it.
I'm a what? Because I don't know anything about would you call them the Pistols?
Pistol Annies.
Pistol Annies. Okay.
Yes, those are. Now, here you go. This is probably a big yes for Charles. More blood, more tracks. The bootleg series. Bob Dylan.
Oof.
Oh.
Oof. If you want to hear mumbling for 60 minutes, feel free to enjoy that, folks. Not my generation, not my thing. I know he's a prolific songwriter, and a lot of songs you probably enjoy are actually Bob Dylan songs, but I'm a no.
Yeah, I'm no too.
Yeah.
Now, streaming, there's only a couple I found interesting this week that's coming out. The Other Side of the Wind. This is a biopic about Orson Welles in his last movie.
Who plays Orson Welles? Is it just
no idea?
Oh, it could be just a no-name. I'm interested in that. So it's about the last production he had?
Something to do with his last movie. That's all I know.
I'm a yes on that.
I don't know if
it's a
biopic or a documentary, but it's definitely all about Orson Welles.
I'm intrigued. I'm a definite yes on that.
That's a new one. And then this one I saw the previous
What are you on that one? Hold on. What are you on that one?
I'll probably watch that.
Yeah, I would too.
This one kind of intrigued me too. John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons. It's kind of like a comedy. It's like what Nick Offerman did. It's not straight stand-up. It's got bits in it. It's Netflix. It's free. Well, not free, but
part of the package.
I'd probably watch it. Yes.
I'm a maybe. I don't know enough about it. I like John Leguizamo in movies, but he's a little high octane. I don't know him for stand-up, but like you said, it's probably not a true stand-up.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee it's not. It's going to be like that Nick Offerman thing where he did like bits.
You're talking. Nick Offerman's amazing. So.
I know, but did you see?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of more of his lecture series.
Yeah. I mean, there was some funny stuff and some of it was kind of. So there you go. There's the rapid fire for the week. Take a look at some of those things out there for you. Now we're going to some reviews.
Hold on a second before you get. How much money is that new Harry Potter movie going to make? That's the real question.
Well, let's see. So its only competition was Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's been out for 2 weeks already.
It'll blow the doors off.
It'll blow the doors off that. That'll finish with about $5 million. And I'm gonna guess if I had to do $160 million.
Jeez, man,
that'd be my guess.
People love that Harry Potter, man. Our wives are huge into it.
Well, it's got to make all its money this week. Because I believe Thanksgiving is Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, okay.
So
I did not like the first Wreck-It Ralph. I know you were.
Oh, I did. I really liked it.
It veered from the video game stuff so quickly. I wanted it. I wanted to like it more than I actually. Plus, I maybe I'm just a little sexist. I don't like Sarah Silverman. I don't like Amy Schumer. I just don't like.
Wasn't in it.
I know, but I'm saying of that same ilk of like
female comedian.
Yeah, I don't like Sarah Silverman at all.
Nah, I like her in that, but like I don't like her stand up. And I think she's highly overrated in a lot of stuff she's in.
She just tries too hard to be like,
She's just
so
little,
edgy.
She's a little cartoon voice, and her actual stand-up and comedy doesn't
But
come
you
through
didn't
in
find in the first Wreck-It Ralph that they veered too hard from the... I mean, the video game stuff, they left it quickly, man.
Yeah,
I thought the video game stuff was super ingenious.
That was probably the rights and money-wise is probably why they did that. They wanted to get some in there for recognition, but then let's move it over.
So you think that the new Harry Potter movie is going to... Well, the new Harry Potter universe movie, I don't want to call it Harry Potter movie, it's got to make its money quick to get out away from a Pixar, a Disney animation movie or whatever.
A kids movie at the holidays?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know where Grinch comes in. Is that this week? Or was it?
It might be this week.
It came out last week.
Oof, I haven't heard much about it, so probably not too much.
Yeah, so Grinch is already going to die down to Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter's going to kill it this weekend with I'm sorry, not Harry. Fantastic
Get
Beasts.
it right, man.
Sorry,
yeah.
Fantastic Beasts.
As you check the notes because she's yelling at
me. But it'll do big this weekend. And then I think it'll still do like 30, 40 million the next weekend. But then Wreck-It Ralph's going to come in and it's going to be 200 million.
One of the things we got to talk to Michelle about, and there was a lot of blowback about, was the Johnny Depp thing, man.
Yeah, everyone hates Johnny Depp.
I don't know what happened, man. Johnny Depp.
They don't want him to be a pirate. They don't want him to be a magical guy.
The whole world got together, and they said, Ohio State is terrible, and we all hate Johnny Depp. It's the weirdest thing. Like, how did the whole nation get together and agree on these things?
Did you hear that news this morning, though?
What's that?
That guy from Ohio State's back in the news again?
Who? Joey Bosa? The Bosa kid?
The coach that was doing the wife beating.
Now?
He's beating on the coach Todd Herman of Texas. So these two guys, I guess, were assistants under Scott.
Get it right, because Brian's listening.
I can't think of the guy's name.
Dude.
Brian's going to kill me. But these two guys were road assistants under Urban Meyer at Ohio State and coaches. So in the offseason, the two of them would travel everywhere to see people. So obviously the guy who beats his wife has tons of dirt on the guy from Texas. And for some reason, I guess he was tweeting.
He's grabbing ankles on the way down? Huh? Is he going to sell that guy out, too?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, he's grabbing ankles. Nothing worse,
he said
man.
He slept with an Iowa State student representative. He went to a happy ending massage parlor.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, there's like 10 things this guy sold him out on Twitter.
People.
So, yeah, he's burning every bridge he got.
He's grabbing them ankles,
I mean, why would you do that? Because you think, hey, maybe he can give me an assistant's job in a couple years when everything dies down. Instead, he's going to burn his bridge automatically.
Yeah,
so that was over the weekend, I guess, was one thing. We'll have to ask Wiggs about the official report on that.
Yeah.
But a lot of rumor that Urban Meyer is priming his way to leave Ohio State this year.
Ohio State would be stupid to do that. I'll be honest.
No, it's him. He's wanting to split.
Do you think
they said
wants
something about
to sit back in a broadcast booth? Is that what he thinks?
Yeah, he wants to get away from the heat right now. Is what the reports I keep hearing. I don't know how true that is or not.
He's won like 86% of his games or something astronomical.
Yeah, well, when you cheat.
I don't have a beef with Ohio State.
Me either. I just like to do it to mess with Wiggs.
I just hate the Big Ten.
So there you go, a little Big Ten. I don't know how we got on that topic, but that's where that happened there. So, like next week, I said I was going to do a Black Friday preview, maybe a little bit. But this week, we had on our TV, we had a 51-inch Samsung TV in our living room. It was a plasma. We got it free from Art Van when we bought our furniture.
It was a plasma, not even LCD, huh?
Yeah, it was plasma.
That means it was heavy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Lasted 7 years. It was fine. It was 50-inch. But when reds or orange or whites came up, we got a giant black spot that would show up in the top right corner of the TV. And it's not one you can ignore. I mean, it was the size of a frying pan.
It was time.
So we had to get a TV. Now, Walmart had an early Black Friday preview, and then they also had some TVs already on sale. So I found a 55-inch 4K Sharp TV for $299, and then I took a Walmart credit card out and got another $40 off. So for $260, roughly, I got a 4K 55-inch TV in my living room. It's smart TV too. It's got even though I don't use it, I was
gonna say it's got all the apps baked in and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
so it was a great deal. To be honest, if you're looking for a TV, now is it the high end Samsung or Sony TVs for $2,000 you see at Best Buy? No, it's not. But if you're sitting in a bar and you see a 55-inch high-def TV and think that looks nice, that's probably the same TV.
Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Okay.
So I like the TV. I think it's nice. Got a nice picture, big and bright. Only problem is the back brackets are set up a little different than my older TV. So it sits
the
up
Visa mounts or
yeah,
whatever.
so without buying a new mount, it sits
Yeah.
up higher than my old one does.
Okay.
So my TV's probably about 10 inches higher now than it was.
Gotta watch. Viewing angles are huge. Now, we've talked about this.
Nah, it's fine. It
You
takes
gotta
up
watch
most of the
that,
wall.
though. I know you. But
It does hide some of the wooden raccoon, though.
Oh, not the raccoon.
Yeah, the raccoon does get hidden some.
Yeah.
Now, I need to probably tweak some of the colors. Haven't really gone in and done
Yeah,
that.
a lot of the settings when you first get a TV, man, it's like when you first get a computer. You really got to go through and tweak, man. You got to turn off the smoothing stuff. You got to turn off corrections, and
this one has a lot of like pre-made ones. Movie, sports,
sure,
blah, blah, blah.
vivid.
Yeah,
yeah.
I never like any of those.
How many
pre-made
inputs?
ones.
You said you got 4?
3.
3 HDMI inputs.
3
and-
HDMI. No VGA anymore.
Yeah, they cut a lot of ports, man.
Yeah.
That's how they bring
One
the price down.
One USB's on the back of there.
Okay.
So I got a Xbox and my cable box plugged into it.
Okay.
Technically, I could run my cable box through my Xbox, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
bother
that's
with
a little
that.
too much integration.
Yeah,
I gotta turn
yeah.
on this to turn on that. and-
Nice television. Now, I was telling Charles the story earlier. So I take the brackets off my old TV, and what you're going to do is you're going to screw them on your new television. But when I go to do that, the screws for the TV for the old one are bigger than the ones for the new one.
Now you ask yourself, who predicted this, folks?
Yeah,
Answer
Charles
yourself.
jinxed me big time.
I didn't jinx you. I know how TVs work, man.
So I need M6 size screws.
Yep.
And I
Did
go,
it say in the documentation?
all it said was M6. It didn't say
Okay.
how long.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just said M6. So I go to Lowe's, local Lowe's on the hill. And there's 2 links there and a couple other links. I bought the 30s and the 40s.
Okay.
I don't know, 30 millimeter. And then
I'm
40
sure that's what it
millimeter.
means. I'm not exactly sure.
So I get those, come all the way back home now. It should take 20 minutes to set up this TV. I'm already a
Yeah.
half hour in. And then I put the screws in, and they're too long. They're sticking this far out of the
You
bracket.
don't have the depth. Well, the new TVs are so skinny. You know?
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay. I don't want to go back to Lowe's and look like a loser. So I'll go over to Home Depot. I need a
We jumped retail shifts.
Yeah, because I don't want to look like a loser in front of the
Yeah.
people working there. So I figured out I need 20 millimeter, not 30 or 40.
Okay.
So M6, 20 millimeter. Go to Home Depot. I'm searching. First, I couldn't find their metric
The
section.
drawers, man.
Yeah.
They're tough. You got to go in the drawers.
12, 16, 20's empty, 25, 30.
Oh.
So the size I need, Home Depot doesn't
Dude.
have. So then I have to get back in the car and
Oh,
go
you
back
look
to
like a
Lowe's.
loser at Lowe's?
Yes,
Oh, man.
I ended up looking like a loser at Lowe's anyways.
Oh, man.
So that's just an example of when I go to do one thing and I got to take 18
Yeah.
trips to the hardware store and just feel like a total idiot sometimes.
Yeah, new TVs are very thin, and then we're all guilty of it. When you put that wall mount up, man, you take that big leftover thing of hardware and you just bin it.
Yeah, who
no
keeps
one
it?
keeps that stuff, but you
Yeah.
need all those spacers and all that
Yeah,
crap.
all
I throw
that
it all
crap.
out. Yeah.
So then, if not, you're at Lowe's and you're flip flops trying to
Yeah.
look for, certain.
You're better
size.
off when you're buying a new TV at Walmart, just throwing a new TV bracket on there
Yeah.
just to not drive yourself insane.
But you still do. Everyone does.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's a nice television. Anyone look for a cheap TV for the holidays? I highly suggest it. I mean,
Now
I'm
that's
not
a Sharp. You've
Yes.
talked in the past about a couple other ones that you like on the lower end. That's a good value. Is the
Yes.
TCL?
TCL's the one in my game
Yeah.
room. I like that one a lot.
Not a very expensive TV, but pretty
No,
feature
it was
packed
under
and
400
stuff like
bucks.
that. Yeah.
It was 50 inch. I like that one. It has Roku built in.
I'm a big fan. The TV here in the studio here we got at Costco. It's an LG. It was more their economy level at Costco and stuff like that. So check out if you're outside of like the Black Friday window. I definitely like the membership stores. Got pretty good deals.
Yeah, and Best Buy has sales all the time. The only problem is usually their sales are like up to 43 inch. The bigger ones they don't put on sale all that often. I just didn't want to go because Best Buy's going to have the same TV as a doorbuster.
Yeah,
on
doorbusters are the worst,
I
especially
don't
Best Buy
wanna-
because they camp out.
Yeah.
People skip the holiday just to get a cheap TV and a cheap camera.
I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. and wait in the freezing cold, then get
In
up
a
there
tent.
and,
Yeah.
and there's no TVs on the shelf. So
Well, they do that thing now where like they ask you what you're in line for and they give you tickets for them and stuff. They're pretty crazy.
yeah, but you still got to be there when they hand the tickets out in certain areas. That's another pain in the ass. So it's all these tricks and trades. So if you're looking for TV, there you go. Now, the one game I've been avoiding, haven't been avoiding, but I was waiting for the Black Friday sales to come out to see what it would be cheap. And of course, it's not. It's Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, okay, I got it right.
Now, so this is a sequel to the 360 PS3 game. Hugely popular game. People loved it. got tons of critic rewards and all this kind of stuff. So this is the sequel to the John Marsden was the character in the first one. It's a Rockstar game. It's kind of very similar to a Grand Theft Auto, but it's set in Western.
Yeah, best way to describe it, Grand Theft Auto with a Western skin.
Okay, now this is the sequel to that.
This is the prequel.
Prequel.
So why they call it 2 don't make much sense. But okay. Yeah, remember did you play the first one?
Yes, I did.
They always referred to his gang back in the day.
Okay.
This is that. You are his gang.
So it has some definite ties to that first game.
And actually, you're not him. I've only played 2 hours. But you're not him to start. You're someone else.
Okay.
You actually save him. He gets beat up on a cave somewhere.
You're a member of, not
You're a member
him.
of his gang, but not him.
Okay.
And in some of my memories fuzzy on who, because I know some of his gang lived to be in the 360 game, and some of them aren't going to live in this one. I don't know which ones are which. But I'll say I like the game. It's beautiful looking.
Tons of content in these games.
Yeah.
Great values, man. You get a Grand Theft Auto, you get a Red Dead. $60 sounds like a lot of money to certain people for new games, but you get a ton of content.
Yeah, you'll be playing for that's the only. Now, see, that's kind of the negative about the game. So it's like I'm 2 hours in, and it's like I know that I'm going to need a weekend and another week.
It's commitment, man.
You can't get too into it. And it starts a little slow. You're in a big snowstorm. You and your gang are trying to hide out somewhere, and there's a lot of like riding a horse forever to hear.
That's kind of my issue with the open world games, though, is I get kind of ADD in a weird way, because like if you mainline the stories, you kind of do yourself a disservice on some level.
Yeah.
But like I need that. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain. Like I don't want to do fetch quests for a long time, but that's how you flesh the whole thing out. It's
what a lot of open world games do now is the first couple hours of the game is not open world. And that's what this is. So a lot of it
establish that story
and tutorial.
Yeah, okay.
Like how to ride the horse. You got to tap double A. You got to hit L. And
okay.
So they're giving you little weird missions you got to do. So right now I haven't got to the open world part yet. I'm still in the snow fort in the first 2 hours, and it takes a while to get there. The only thing I don't like is there's a lot of meters in this one, and I don't remember a lot of meters in the first one.
Meters like kick meters or like health meters?
Yeah, so like
things will deteriorate. So there's a lot of crafting in it.
So your horse, for example, has a stamina meter and then a health meter also.
Okay.
So you can't push it and ride the horse too long. You got to watch that.
That was one of the rubs of the first game until you got like where you could bounce around with the campfires, like the travel between things. It's not like a Grand Theft Auto game where you just get in a fast car and zip around.
Well, right now I'm still stuck in that part. With the slow
it's
horse.
a little rough, man.
And so everything's got meter. Even you, as the character, you have a stamina meter and a health meter.
Oh, okay. So it's
in the meter is a double layered too. So there's a heart and then there's a circle around it. The outer circle is your main health, and the heart is like your. So they went a little crazy with the meters in this one.
Okay.
So they need to pump the brakes a little on the meters. But other than that, it's a fine game. Good voice acting. It makes you feel like you're in a Western.
150 gig download or something crazy. How long did it take you to install?
Gigs. It was 88 gigs.
So,
it's this monster comes on 2 discs. By the way.
2 discs.
I had to put the first one in
discs.
for about an hour, and it came back, and there was a sign said put the second one in. So it took about 2 hours to download and get everything into this thing. Because on top of that 80 gigs, there's another 8 gigs that come in off the internet.
Wow.
So it's a monster.
I mean, but it plays in 4K. You put this open world in.
They even give you like audio options, which most games don't. Like when you start, are you playing this on a headset? Are you playing the surround sound? So they got different audio options.
DTS 5.1 in there and stuff. Yeah.
So a lot of games don't do that, and that they do. And then they give you a ton of visual options, and so it's got a lot of stuff you can screw around with it for a long time. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those ones. I'll probably play it over Thanksgiving and stuff.
Now, you bought it on an Xbox One because you have the One X, correct?
Yeah,
yeah.
They supposedly that's the best version. That's what I keep hearing. So I don't. It looks fine. It looks beautiful. Snow looks good. A lot of snow. Shitload of snow.
How's the hair? Do we have any WWE game hair?
The human hair looks fine. The hair that stuck out to me. You got to fight a pack of wolves. Okay. And up close, they look
a little gnarly.
They look a little Chewbacca from Star Wars.
You know, I mean, you get a game
rough.
that massive, it's tough to.
You gotta cut some corners
yeah.
somewhere, and the hair seems to be it.
It's gonna be. There's basically 2 games in 2018. There's gonna be this Red Dead sequel, and then the God of War.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't think of another game that should sweep any Game of the Year award.
Well, Spider-Man was pretty big.
Spider-Man, okay, the Insomniac one,
Yeah,
one that just came out. Okay, so you've got 3 games to flesh out your top of 2018.
And then, of course, they're going to give all I don't know, the multiplayer game awards to either Call of Duty or Fortnite. I don't know which one. Take your pick. The critics seem to be loving that.
Is Fortnite a 2018 game? Is that what we're going to call that?
It came out right on the border, so I don't know. Did it come out last December?
I
last
think it
January?
did. I could be wrong. I'm sure, again,
caught
someone's at
fire in
home
the
going, these
spring.
idiots don't know what they're talking about. But I don't know. But if you're to talk to me, I think that I forgot about the Spider-Man game. I still don't think the Spider-Man game is going to compare to the God of War game people loved when it came out. And for all intents and purposes, it seems like everyone loves this new Red Dead game that's coming out. So I don't think there's anything on the horizon that's going to...
Oh, you got Smash Brothers, but that's not...
Okay.
That's just random stupidity.
Great. Another iteration of Smash Brothers.
Yeah, so and I'm trying to think, because usually there's one Nintendo game they want to stick in there, but there hasn't been like a Zelda. If Metroid came out this year, they'd be all over Metroid.
Okay.
But Metroid didn't. So, that's probably your top 3 games you're looking at this year.
Which is, we've talked about it before. 2018, in my opinion, I know this is not 2018 is a bad year for video games, man. It really is.
Microsoft did announce Crackdown 3 finally coming in February.
Okay, great.
And it's coming
because that got delayed big time.
It's coming day 1 to Game Pass. I think that's when I'm going to sign up for Game Pass. I'm going to try it out, see if I like it. Try it for a month and cancel it. Because I have a feeling Crackdown 3 is going to be a turd. They also bought some new studios and stuff, but I don't want to get too nerdy. Too nerdy with that one. So there you go. I can't give a real rating on the Red Dead because I haven't played it
so far
long
you
enough.
like it though.
I like it. It's good.
Is it more Red Dead, or you think it's doing some different things than that first one?
Well, already because all the meters and stuff, I don't remember that in the first one. So that seems different. And from what I understand, there's like little things you can do, like your hat might get blown off the wind. You can stop and pick up
details.
The hat. Okay. There's also more hunting again and fishing and stuff like that. I really got to get to the part where the world opens up and I can do everything, so I can let you know. I know the next part is we're going to rob a train.
Okay.
So that should be pretty fun.
That's always very sequence-based and pretty cool. When,
that should be pretty
Rockstar gets that together.
So today's Monday. Most of the NFL action yesterday.
The biggest one for me, I don't know where you're going with this, but like Tennessee put it on the Patriots, man. It
is ironic that Matt Patricia and former player Mike Vrabel got 2 freebies from New England.
Oh, man. You
just
crying
saying.
foul? What's going on?
I'm not crying foul.
I thought Tennessee looked really good from what I was watching because we got that game here in Detroit, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was not a bad game. Tennessee's offense is very boring.
But when I feel like Tennessee's offense, when they can put it together,
but they can't do it consistently. If they can ever do it consistently, like Tennessee will put in a drive, and you're like, wow, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, they
look
great.
And the next time they're sacked and fumbling.
Because they were running and doing everything. I was like, man.
Because you consider they're only 4-4, right?
Yeah. And they were giving Tom Brady fits, too, man. The defense was scheming around them pretty good, too.
Well, the defense was always solid. Even last year, most of the games they won were defense-based.
Okay.
So that's kind of the heart of that team. It's just Mariota. They got to put him together. Either find the right offense for him, or he needs to improve himself and just get – he's streaky. He's very streaky. I know that because I'm a Tennessee fan. I follow quite a bit. But it was good. It was a good win for them. I don't know what is going on with the Detroit Lions.
They can't stop getting sacked. Is the real point.
I literally turned the game. I missed the first 10 minutes. In the first quarter,
you need a line. So.
It was 24-0 at one point in the first quarter.
I'm telling you, I was barely flipping back to it. I bailed.
How could their line suck so bad when they've spent draft picks and free agent money all on their line? It's amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
I don't understand what's going on there. I don't know what they need to do.
They got a quick turn on Chicago because they got them again.
Chicago's going to pound them again.
Oh, my God, man. Yeah, I'm telling you.
They're saying the crowd's probably going to be almost 50% Chicago fans.
Oh, yeah, people coming in for it. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to derail your Leo talk, but the big one to me was New Orleans destroyed Cincinnati. Yeah, oh, my God.
Something tells me Cincinnati was a paper champ. They caught some people
I don't know, man, but is New Orleans this crazy? I don't know.
Apparently so. Them and the Rams are the NFC cream of the
crop.
Drew
Brees, 146 years old. I mean, what's going on? But him and Tom Brady are breaking records. And
I want to say this right now. We can all put a fork in the Falcons.
Yeah.
When you lose to Cleveland that bad. It's not even a close game. Cleveland pounded you. The Falcons are done. They need to retool. They need to. I don't know what they need to do, but they're looking bad. They got a lot of injuries too, but that's no excuse. They suck.
What's tonight's game? Tonight's game's a stinker.
Tonight's game would have been great in 1991. So you got the Giants at the Niners.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Bill Parcells versus Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
That would have been a
George
great
Seifert era.
Yeah, it would have been a great game.
I don't know, man.
I don't even know. I'm probably gonna have to draw on most.
You
of
just
that.
gotta take like your home team at that point. Like, who do you got in that? I mean, give me the home team, right?
Yeah, you'd have to go home.
Now, here's the question: is Eli Manning finally going to get bent? Is New York going to part ways and be finally done with Eli?
I don't know. Everyone said that the rumor is they want to draft that quarterback from Oregon.
Oh, Herbert or whatever his name is, Justin Herbert or something like that. Again, Brian's pissed at me. It's something like that. Yeah, a lot of people are pretty stoked on him.
Yeah,
seem to be pretty.
It seems like him and the guy from West Virginia are the top quarterbacks coming out.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I really don't know on that one because tonight's game is going to be rough.
I guess you could tune in and check out Booger's cart or something. I don't know. I know Wiggs is talking about that.
Maybe I'll have to watch Outlaw Kings tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you got something to stream, tonight is the night, folks.
Yeah, because this is going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
And then, the other highlights from there was really no great game. The Philadelphia-Dallas game, did you watch that?
No.
Only highlight was Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
Did you see the highlight?
No.
He hurdled. A dude went to tackle him. He hurdled him.
Yeah.
Right over his head.
It's fun to watch, man.
Yeah, the Dallas pulled that one out. I think Eagles are probably pretty much done for the season.
Yeah, and I talked about that in preseason. I wasn't believing, but I don't know about Dallas, man. Like, how long are they going to keep going with Garrett? I don't think he's the answer down there at all.
That whole NFC East, I guess the Redskins are going to win by default. Will they beat Tampa Bay 16-6 or something? It's just so bad. I don't know what to do there.
I don't know.
So Monday night, you may want to find some streaming. Maybe you DVR'd The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
you can watch that.
Catch up on something because, man.
Did you catch that last night, by the way?
I'm still behind. I'm at episode 12. I watched quite a bit of it. I'm season 8, so I'm just getting to where they realize they're dipping everything in guts. So that's where they're. I'm pretty close.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one in season 8 where Negan goes to Alexandria and they ambush him. And literally bullets flying everywhere. He just gets in the truck and nothing hits him. He flips him off and drives down the road. It's like, seriously?
Dude,
the G.I. Joe'd the shit out of this one. No one can hit anybody.
That show. Season 8. Basically from season 7 on is just, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man. I just feel like they owe me an ending.
You got to catch up because I got to hear what
Yeah,
you're
I've heard
now.
about Rick with the rebar in him and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get there.
They Rickroll you on that one, by the way. So now we're going to go to a little news. And the first thing up, back in the 90s, I'm going to date myself here a little bit. Occasionally, like a game like Red Dead Revolver or Red Dead Redemption 2, or maybe even an Assassin's Creed, or even a Metal Gear.
It wasn't even the 90s, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I'm talking back in the 90s when it was paper.
Oh.
Those games are really long, right? So, and sometimes they got some hidden stuff. Prima guides, they used to be big at Toys R Us.
Huge.
They were $10, $20.
The
you
whole
could buy
section
them.
of them. They were mostly, like I said, like $15, $20. They were an investment. Like you had to, get that with your, with your game.
Yeah, it was pointless to get a strategy guide for a short game, but a real long game,
or a game with, like you said, a lot of Easter eggs. And stuff like that.
Zelda, where you got to find the hidden keys.
Yeah.
They were great to have, and they were the cream of the crop.
They
company.
were the prima. Is that what
they were the prima? And then in 2000, sometime in 2000s, I don't know if everybody knows, they switched a lot of their strategy games to online, and they reduced the price where you could pay like $7 and get a strategy guide.
Well, they had to compete because at the end of the day, I'm not going to give you $15, $20 when I could go on YouTube and get whatever I need to from some idiot like us out there just trying to get people to stare at them.
Yeah.
I don't understand who was buying these guides, so you could see why they had to adapt.
And, well, they didn't adapt well enough because Prima strategy guides are going out of business. They are shutting down at the end of the year.
Yeah.
No more. So if you need your tips and tricks, you got to go to IGN or GameSpot or somewhere like that.
Or YouTube, which is most people.
Yeah.
Now, before you go on to the next one, one of the big stories that just came out today is the passing of Stan Lee.
Yes,
right?
Stan Lee, yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, he was born in 1922. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, and he founded Prima Strategica. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, he was 95 years old.
95, man.
Yeah,
So
he is dead.
And my wife, who's a teacher, spoke about how at her school, like, kids were visibly upset.
Really?
That I swear to you, Heather came home, was like, "Did you hear?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Okay." It's crazy. Like, who's going to do a cameo in the next Deadpool movie or whatever?
Now, are they going to use a CGI Stan Lee to show up in one of these
I don't
movies?
know, man.
Are they going to do like Big Hero 6 and just like his painting will be on the wall?
Yeah, probably like a wink, wink, nod, nod thing.
Yeah.
So does Stan Lee, you're a comic book guy. I'm not really a comic book guy. Does Stan Lee hold a place for you, really? Or because he's a golden age guy, right? Like,
well, not gold. He started early 70s. Probably right in there.
Okay, like
there was always a big rumor. Well, no, actually, I should say 60s. God, I should know that. Him and Dan Dyko and Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
And there was always a rumor that him and Jack Kirby had a falling out because he would take a lot of credit for stuff Jack Kirby would do or come up with. So there was always a rumor he was kind of a prick, but I don't know if that's true or not. So yeah, he's the father of X-Men. He's the father. He's not the father of Captain America. He made a set group like Spider-Man, X-Men, and it's a fantastic group. Fantastic Four.
That core Marvel lineage is.
But he didn't come up with like Wolverine. He didn't come up with Venom. He didn't come up with, like I said, Captain America or some of the other Iron Man. He came up with the idea to throw them all together in a book.
Sure.
So it's kind of crappy in a way that he got credit for like everything Marvel ever did.
Okay.
When he only did X amount here. Now, don't get me wrong. It was great, and it was a fantastic job he did, but at the same time, I would like him to. How come he's the only face? It's like there were other guys.
Yeah, so somehow he surpassed all these people to just become the de facto like Marvel guy.
Now he's had over the years a lot of financial problems. So back in the 70s and 80s, Marvel didn't pay their creators or editors very much, not nearly, and there was no royalties.
Okay.
So but then I think they corrected that finally in the 90s. What was kind of spurred that in the 90s was those guys walking out and making Image.
Okay.
So that made DC and Marvel to start being a little more lucrative to the people.
Understand there's some real talent here that's willing to do their own thing.
Yeah, so like Jack Kirby, who he didn't come up with the concepts, but he drew everything. Like Jack Kirby was the guy that you went to when you came up with
you have this idea of these parts and how to
really
put them together.
The only one who didn't come up with it was Spider-Man. That was Dan Ditko, I think his name was. He came up with Spider-Man, but Jack Kirby was Fantastic Four, Thor, Iron Man. He was the go-to guy.
Yeah.
They even say Thing in the Fantastic Four is based on Jack Kirby. What was I saying? Okay, so there was a lot of money issues, and then in the 90s, Stan Lee became president of Marvel and made a lot of money there. And then Marvel, if you remember, was going bankrupt.
Yeah.
That's when they sold to Sony and everybody
Yeah.
else. So he was hurting for money again. But then when the movies hit, that's when
he got like cult following with his weird little antics.
Yeah.
In
Now,
the
if you remember, he tried making animation studios and failed. He tried making his own comic brand and failed.
Well, that's
he
the one
failed
thing,
quite a few times.
Well, if you look at it though, so I watched the one show that was on Sci-Fi where people brought their superhero ideas to life. What was the name of that show?
Oh yeah, that show too. I forgot the name of it.
But the one thing I'll tell you about, at least from my opinion as a non-comic book guy, the dude just loved the whole thoughts and theories about like Excelsior and all this stuff. That was kind of infectious. You know what I mean? Like I can respect that.
I'm not trying to shit on the guy's legacy or anything, but I pretty much sound like I did.
But ship has sailed.
I just wish that a lot more people besides just him would get. And not against him. Then even recently, before he died, he back about 10 years ago invested in a movie franchise in China. Because he was going to start making movies in China, that failed.
There was something weird just recently where like he sold his DNA or something like that. Did you hear all that? He definitely had some kooky theories.
He had some from 2000 on. There was really some. Besides his funny little cameos in the movies, he had like business-wise was doing some weird stuff that would always fail or end up in lawsuits.
But now the one thing I will tell you, and we saw it firsthand. like you could go and see at Comic Cons and stuff. He was cool with fans, so he was just became this odd face of like cult Marvel.
Yeah,
he definitely took the time to live that whole lifestyle of like Comic Cons and all that kind of stuff.
The last Comic Con I went to, it was in Chicago. That one, because that one gets the big stars. It was about 5 or 6 years ago, I'd say, and there was 2 celebrities that I saw and thought, man, they are walking death. He is one of them.
Okay.
The other one was Burt Reynolds, ironically enough.
Oh, man, Steve, you're gooching.
They looked rough. Even I looked at Michelle and I go, they look kind of rough. Like they look like they shouldn't be in public rough.
Oh, wow.
So
in hospice rough.
Yeah, so ironically enough, looking back at that,
wow.
I know. But hey, he's more part 95 years old. He had a great life. He got to make comics and stuff for a living.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and probably hasn't technically had to work since like you said, the 50s or 60s.
I'm not sure if he has a kid. I don't think he does. He might. I don't know. He's had the same wife forever, so I know that. And
she like a young Chippy.
She ain't that much younger. So if he's 95, she's like maybe 80.
Oh, okay. Man. So at the time, a young Chippy.
Yeah, but not anymore. So I don't know. Yeah, more power to him.
So
I know Kevin Smith is probably very sad because he loved Stan Lee. So I know he's probably bumming.
Well, because he was probably again with that Kevin Smith stuff. Because he seemed, the one thing that I can say about Stan Lee is he didn't take himself too serious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's in on the joke.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and that's kind of cool. Like he wasn't like, listen, man, respect who brought comics to what they are. He's just like, hey, man, superheroes, right? You know what I mean? I can respect that.
Let's do it. Yeah,
yeah.
So Stan Lee, 95. Everyone calls him pretty much the father of Marvel and blah blah blah. So,
but you want an asterisk next to that as your contention.
Yeah, I'm just saying let's recognize some of the other guys. You know, he wasn't the only one. It's not like he was up till midnight every night writing them all and then drawing them
just
all,
cranking
right?
on them.
Yeah, he wrote a couple of them, and then my thing about him, it cracks me up, is all his characters always had the same first and last name. Always had Peter Parker, Bruce Banner. He always did that so he can remember. They always said he did that so he can. He can remember the names better.
Wow.
That's why there was a lot of Bruce Banners, Peter Parker. There was a bunch of them where they had the same letter for first and last names. I thought that was funny. So I want to talk about a lady named Jamie Sloan.
Yeah. So this is completely off. We go from Stan Lee to a chick who does half an Iron Man, and she just gave birth in March. She's running, so a half of an Ironman's like you swim for 1.2 miles, you bike for, what did I put down there? Like you bike for something crazy.
56 miles.
56 miles. You do a half a marathon, 13.1. She's running into 13.1. She's pumping boob milk in this. She had to pump during the run. Doesn't stop because she realizes it's her personal best time as she got off the bike. So she thought she was going to stop somewhere and take care of business and keep going in this Ironman. So this chick gives birth in March, runs a half an Ironman in October, and pumps in the middle of the race.
Jesus.
Ladies, you are all lazy compared to her. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
My wife didn't want to make raviolis.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Heather goes to Planet Fitness. She's done for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like this chick is unbelievable.
Well, here's the most important question, though. She runs this Ironman thing. She's pumping breast milk. She's half dead. How much money do you think she got for doing that?
Oh, for doing the Ironman? She got a medal. What are you talking about?
She didn't get money?
You know they don't. I mean,
what's the
she's
point?
talking about personal best.
Oh, my God.
There's, you know who's really, and celebrity-wise, you know who's really into Ironman, which is kind of...
I know Tiki Barber is.
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh,
the chef is way into... And you look at these numbers, you're like... What crazy person is going to do this? You know what I mean?
I mean, what's my motive? I'm not even getting money? I mean, why am I doing this?
Crazy.
I mean, I know we did the Savage Race thing for a laugh, but that was 2 hours, 3 hours.
Dude, this is
you
insane. Train from, I mean, you just read those numbers and you're just like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's just like that Naked and Afraid show where they win like $10.
Yeah, $1,500 for those people, too.
Yeah,
it's just, but this chick, man, while she's running, she's literally pumping because it's probably been so many hours that they start to get engorged. She's got to take care of the ladies.
In all honesty, though, you know you're going to run a marathon after you have your kid, right? Okay, that's what she's going to do. Why didn't she just fucking switch to formula?
Because boob is best, man. You know that.
Whatever.
There's a lot of pressure. I don't even want to get into this because this is crazy. Like, we're going to step on some kind of beehive on this one.
I'm not arguing that, but if you know you're going to run a marathon, wouldn't you want to...
She knew she could take care of and handle her business. I respect her choice. I'm not going down this road.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you're crazy. Don't kick the beehive.
If I know I'm going to go on a marathon... Well, okay.
Yeah, looking at her.
Yeah. Say October 21st.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get a vasectomy October 18th.
But if you know that you have the physical fortitude with which to handle your business, and you know when you have that kid in March that, hey, in October I'm doing this, she didn't give a shit about what anyone thought. That's freaking marbles right there. I don't care.
But they wrap them up.
She knew she could take care of business. She already made provisions, but then she realized, hey, look, man, I just killed the bike part. I just got to take care of my girls while I'm running, and she did that, man. That's gangster as all hell.
I'm not denying her feat that she did, but I'm just saying, shouldn't be prepared.
You're kicking a bee's eye.
I know, but it's not. I'm not really knocking feminism or breastfeed. But
they say there's big time
my kid was never breastfed, and she's got 4.0.
I understand that, but
it has to happen.
No one's saying you have to do anything, but if you can do everything naturally and all that good stuff, the studies prove that it's the best way to do it. But some girls physically can't, some girls physically can. She's in the can theory, and all I'm saying is, ladies, I don't want to hear nothing about what you can't do, because I'm telling you, this is the most miracle thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. More power to her. I just don't get it.
Half an Iron Man. And pumping boobs on the way there.
I don't get half these marathons and stuff. They don't win. I mean, I guess I did it, but
I wish I could have the physical to be like, this is something I want to accomplish in my life. But for me, if I'm not going to hit someone at the end, I'm not running. I don't know, man.
If I don't get to hit the blue ball against the wall and racquetball, I'm not doing it.
But people are into it, man. Like you said, Tiki Barber, Gordon Ramsay, those are just a few that I can think of. You know what I mean?
So there you go. There's a little news for you. Stan Lee's dead. Prima's shutting down, and this lady pumps milk while running marathons. So, important news here on the Fat Guys Podcast. Now back to when I bought the television. Right now, Charles jinxed me twice. He double whammed me. First was the bracket saying he wasn't going to fit. Well, he's wrong on the bracket. The bracket did fit. The screws didn't fit. So that was number one. And then number two, Charles, when we were on the way to Notre Dame, I go to Walmart and use the pickup all the time. In and out, just like that.
Boom, boom, boom. I love site to store. I've talked about it before.
Every time, I don't know what it is. You must go to a magical unicorn store that I'm not going to. I've done it twice. Both times got screwed.
What happened this time?
So I'll get Taylor, site to store, get my TV, right? I go to the back. It says there's a big orange sign on the back wall.
Back by the shoes.
Yes, you know where it's at.
I know exactly.
I walk all the way back there. Again, there's not even a register on the counter anymore.
Yeah, it's all through the pad thing that they do.
There's no pad. There's no nothing. There's a phone. An old school
No,
phone.
but I'm saying you sign for
Yeah. So there's nothing there's no bell, nothing. I'm just standing there, 10 minutes. I go out to the shoe department and get the lady. Can you pay someone for the pickup? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, sir. We'll get it for you. 10 more minutes go by. Finally, this little girl shows up. She's probably 20 years old, maybe 5'2", spunky.
That spunky word.
Yeah, she looks spunky. Well, she's going 100 miles a minute. Meanwhile, I've already waited 20 minutes. All right, so I'm stewing a little bit. Oh, okay. What are you here to pick up? Do you have your number and your ID? Yeah, here you go. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go to the front of the store. I go, what? I came back here because that's where it's supposed. I know, but we're remodeling, and after January 1st, all the pickups are going to be in the front of the store.
Oh, good to know for me.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm glad I can take one for the team. So she goes, all right, follow me. And she starts booking the store. I'm like,
she's so spunky.
Yeah, the spunky little girl. Just take it off. So then we get there, all right? She opens the door. It's like a storage area in the back behind this door. You can't come back here. I know it's a 55-inch TV. I know it's a giant box.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want me to help you? No. I'll get in trouble if you come back here. You can't come back here. Do you have a cart? No, because there was a flatbed back at the back of the store I was going to use, but I can't use that. So she takes off, comes back 10 minutes later with a cart. All right, you wait here. Shuts the door. Another 10 minutes passes.
Jeez.
She comes out and realizes she can't lift the TV. So then she goes another 5 minutes looking for people to help her Meanwhile, I'm standing right there. I'm like, I will help you.
Yeah, but you can't see where the sausage is made. They don't want you to see in the back.
Eventually, she gives in and goes, okay, I'll just take, I don't care if I get in trouble. So I went back there, and we picked up the 55.
How bad? Wait. How bad was the back office there? How bad was it back there?
It wasn't that bad.
Was it organized?
It was organized.
Oh, good.
I mean, my TV was the biggest thing back there.
Yeah.
It was some shelves and a little conveyor belt thing. That's all that was back there. There wasn't a lot back there. Now, after Black Friday, I wouldn't even want to be near that place. But it was a big TV, and then finally I picked it up. We put it in the cart, and I left. But 5 minutes, total 45 minutes.
I dart right out
Never.
like a surgeon.
Every
just
single
boom, boom, boom.
time. Every time I get screwed. So I don't.
Not my issue.
Oh, you're just lucky, and you jinxed me. Is all that was. So there you go. Walmart pickup. Give it a try.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now you want to talk about some of the audience members?
Yeah. So we go every year. We take our dad, and we have a good time. We pick a game. We go. We pay a ton of money for a mediocre game. We do it every year.
Nuts off.
Yeah, we freeze to death. What I don't understand, and I'm sure someone in our audience is like, it's the best. Like, I'm sure Bob high fives everyone I don't need a friend. I don't pay the exorbitant fees to go to a Notre Dame game and befriend everyone in a section. Like, I don't want to high five you. I don't know who you are. I don't want to know your life story. I don't want to know anything about you. I'm here to enjoy the game with my brother and my father, and that's all. Like, I don't need any other interaction anywhere else. Yet somehow, like, you get in these audiences, and it's like they first of all, they think that you're and they're part of the team now. You know what I mean? We're speaking in we's and us's, and we're like, what are you talking about, crazy person? And then, like I said, every time a good play happens, instead of just enjoying it amongst your group, you get the people in front of you who turn around and have had way too many pregame beers and all. It's just like, it's so exhausting.
And we're in the minority on this one, though.
And I know we are. And we're antisocial markies and all this kind of stuff.
Most people want that when they go to a game.
I don't want anything to do with you. Like, leave me alone, man.
I will say I like being there when the team scores and seeing the crowd reaction, like cheering.
I don't need you to specifically pick me out.
Yeah, I don't need to lean to the
look
guy
what
next
we
to
just
me.
did and all this kind of stuff.
You want to clap and cheer and scream, that's fine. But I don't need to high five
don't
you.
interject into my conversations too. Like, I don't need to know your 2 cents on the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
I know I hate the Big Ten. I don't need your 2 cents. It's so much, man. Unless you're going to give me information like the score on a game, and I'm like, hey, what's the score of an Alabama game or whatever? Just shut up and leave me alone. Like, I don't know you. I don't need any more friends. You know what I mean?
I know we're in the minority on that one. The other one I don't get, it's a college game. They don't serve alcohol there. All right, you can last 3 hours without some hooch.
No, man.
There's a man at this game. He probably about 5 years older than me. Big dude. He's there with his 2 sons.
2 sons, yeah.
And he secretly has a flask in his coat.
Yeah, he's breaking out little mini bottles of vodka.
He's got like airline vodka.
Yeah, and with his kid with him, right next to him and everything. And he's got to sit there and pour it in. It's just like...
that desperate. He wasn't the only one. There was a bunch of them that do that.
Oh, it's so annoying, man.
My thing is, you're not really going to get drunk from that one little vase.
He's got to take the edge off,
What
Steve.
is the point? I mean, it's not like...
It's
not like you go refill it or something. And they have devices where you can hide hooch on your body.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people getting lit as they're there. You know what I mean?
But I understand when you see a Diet Coke cost $7, you may want to bring your own liquor in, but I don't know. I know that. And the other thing that drives me nuts, and I know I'm big and fat and lazy, thanks Wigs, but what drives me nuts is under crucial parts of the game, I understand why everybody wants to stand up and see what's going on. But when you sometimes, not all the time, but you get in a section where every asshole in the place has to stand for everything.
And we were standing a lot.
I mean, TV timeouts, they're all standing.
Yeah, dude. I'm strategic with it. Like, I stand up because I have to.
Yeah, a big
I'll
fourth
watch
down.
it. But then, like you said, as soon as Notre Dame loves a TV timeout, so as soon as that TV timeout comes, I sit down immediately.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and there's some guys that just refuse to sit down. They stand.
It's like
whole
the
time.
team is not going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that guy in section 14 didn't support me.
In the upper row
I mean?
under the lights. He's standing up.
It's a weird thing, man.
I don't get that at all either. And I know I'm old and crotchety and and the other one we were talking about, so it's 25 degrees out. It's cold.
Yeah.
And there's parents that have to weasel their 3-year-old son or daughter there. The kid's bored out of his mind, sitting there frostbitten, just waiting to go home. Why do you bring your kids to that? I mean, maybe in a warm September game, August game, but in November, 25 degrees, why would you bring your 3-year-old to that?
I don't know.
Maybe if your kid's a teenager or something, but I don't know. That always
well, and then you get like the girls too, that so many people, and we've learned for the years of doing this in an outdoor stadium. I dress for the weather. I don't dress to pimp my team. I don't dress. I dress pure. Yeah. I know I love Notre Dame football. I love Pittsburgh Steelers football. I don't need to tell someone next to me I do. You know what I mean? I don't need to drip and swag to tell you that. But there are these people who dress. It's just like, you knew it was 25 degrees, right? Like, you didn't get the memo? Like, you got to be dying right now. And then there's some of these girls where they're wearing, like, booty pants.
Yeah, and big old...
It's like, dude, you know you're dying right
jeans,
now. It's crazy. It's beyond me.
Giant pair of granny panties. Yeah. So, the other thing, back to last year, I'm a big Falcons fan. Remember when we went to the Lions game?
Yeah.
I wore a Falcons hat, didn't think anything about it. There's this little kid, well, not kid, he's probably almost 25 or something, but a little skinny guy. A whole section hated him.
Just boom.
Because he started in with the Falcon stuff. And who's the one guy he tries to befriend the whole time? It's like, I don't want to talk to you. This whole section hates you.
There's people that thrive on that, like, turning the screws on people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to show up dripping my visitor swag and you can kiss my ass. And it's like, dude, you're crazy right now. Like, there's way too many people here. You know what I'm saying? But there's people that just can't get enough of it and want that confrontation. I want to watch a football game live. It's interesting to see how truly quick someone is live, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can see a little bit more of the coordination to stuff. That's why I go to a game. I don't go to a game to high five the guy from Ishpeming in front of me. It's not my thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And like you said, it's neat to see 100,000 people react together. That's great. You know what I mean? But like, I don't need to high five all 100,000 people.
Oh man, get the fives ready.
Yeah, dude, just my hand hurts. I'm just
And then the sexist in me too is when they bring the wives. And the wives aren't even watching; they're just on their phones. They don't even want to be there. It's why did you waste your money on that?
And that's just like culture now. Like, we're old and out of touch, and
I know.
we've established that on the podcast.
Every time I say that, though, I always hear the guy, "Oh, she's really into sports, is she? She's looking at eBay."
I'm
on her
talking
phone.
about people in general who are on their phone. Dude, we paid $170 a seat for this game, and trust me, we were not feeling sweat. We were not up close.
No.
If I'm paying $170, I don't give a shit about my cell phone. Like, you can call me all day long. I got to justify this somehow at this event. Like, there's no way. And
I threw a couple texts out when we first got there, but then I had to take my gloves off to keep texting. So I'm done with that.
But there's people who don't. We've talked about it before in the past. The concert through the cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all this whole thing where, like, I got to prove that I was at this. I don't need to prove to anyone. Like, I've got the bank account that tells me I got screwed, It's crazy. So
there you go. A couple old curmudgeons talking about going to a football game. So, like I said, next week, her podcast debut of Michelle Markey will be coming. We're going to talk about some Harry Potter, some Black Friday, some other nice things. Maybe we can find some avocado soup to eat next week. Get something really tasty. So you can catch us on fatguysandaLittlePodcast.com or Apple iTunes or Google Play. And then also we are on Spotify, as Wig pointed out to me a couple weeks ago, because I knew that. Please check out the YouTube channel. You can see some 3D non-action shots of us sitting around, even on racquetball. So until next time, this is Steve.
Charles.
And we'll catch you later.